It's Sneaker Years. My name is Levi, and welcome to part 2 of the best value sneakers of 2019-2020. Now, the reason I'm doing this in 3 separate parts is because all 3 of these shoes, the Dame 6, this Jordan CP3, and this bad boy, the Don 1, I have not done a full review on, so I wanted to give them their full respects. These are all available for easily under $100. Part 1 was just released with the Dame 6, so check that out so you can get our full thoughts on that. But today, we're looking at the Donovan Mitchell initial signature sneaker, the Don Issue 1. All right, as always, we're going to start with fit, and I think Adidas has been a little more consistent lately. This is also a size 12. This is definitely something that actually ran a little bit big, so I feel like maybe I could have done 11.5, but I couldn't because of the width. Now, you have a wide toe box, so if you have a wide toe box, you're going to be just fine, but if you have a wide midfoot like myself, you definitely need to go true to size. Everyone else, you can probably go down a full size. Now, I was able to go again with the size 12 on the Dame 6 back here, and even those, I probably could have gone half a size down, but it still felt really comfortable. Whereas this, if I went down half a size, there's no way I can be able to fit as far as the width of my foot. Now, as far as the materials, this is the Venom edition, and this is the only one that used kind of a fake leather. It feels nice. The back end, I think, is a little more of a real leather, but this material definitely did need a little more break-in. I was able to try the other colorways, which all use more of an open mesh, and those I don't think required any break-in, and actually they probably fit me a little bit better, but this was just such a sick colorway. Love the look and design of this one, but I really don't try to get into aesthetics or off-court style, so I'll leave it at that. I really like this shoe, and generally I do try to get a signature athlete's first shoe, even if I like it or not. The only one I'm missing, and I'm not sure if I really want to get it, is the Greek Freak one. That was such a terrible shoe, and that'll be in an upcoming video. I don't know if I want it, even though, again, it looks great. Back to the Don 1. As far as the fit, this, if you are adverse to low tops, so you don't like playing low tops because you need a little more security, or you're just not comfortable with if you had any ankle injuries, this is one you can try. This is one that reminds me a lot of the Kobe 9, where even though this is a low top, you have so much support on this, and we'll get the support in a second. You definitely want to try it. Now, it uses a traditional tongue, so if you have a high instep or if you have a taller foot, you're not going to have any issues. Again, with your toe box, there's plenty of room up here. That midfoot is just the only area where I would say go true to size if you have a wide midfoot. Otherwise, going down half a size or even a full size for all you narrow footers out there. There's a lot of cushion back here as well for your Achilles, so lockdown is actually really nice, and just the angle of which this ties down, it reminds me very Kobe-esque, very Kobe 8, where it really locks you into the back of the shoe. So fit, I really did enjoy. Your foot's not going anywhere on this. It was snug, at least for me, just because you have this kind of shank plate coming in, but overall I think fit is actually a really nice aspect of the shoe, and materials overall are really nice, especially coming from like the Dame 6. This just feels a lot more sturdy. You feel like you have a lot more strength in the shoe, where it's going to last you longer, and just a better overall built shoe. All right, I know I talked about support a little bit, but let's get into it. This has a super wide base, even more so than the Dame 6. You can kind of see these little outriggers here, but they actually work. You feel completely stable. I mean, your foot is not rolling anywhere in this. Now, if you land on someone's foot, obviously things happen, but you are not going to have one of those accidental Lonzo and Kobe 4 situations where your foot can just snap over. The way you have your heel here, and then this just jets out, you can see how kind of aggressive that is, on top of having these kind of double outrigger. I don't know if you can see, but your foot sits more in here. and yet the outside of the shoe is out here. So you just have a lot of stability, being flat, a lot of lateral containment. And then I know I talked about a little bit with how the lacing structure is, how much padding there is in the heel, but even though this is a super low top, you are locked in. This is such a supportive shoe. And then on top of all that, this is a heavy sucker. You feel it on your foot. Now, I necessarily don't like heavy shoes, but at the same time, when I wore these, I felt really safe. This was a great shoe. I wish I had more cushion. We'll get to that. After like a deadlift day, or actually more squats day where your legs just feel kind of wobbly and you want just a little bit more support so you don't just fall over. This shoe is fantastic. Really supportive for what it is, and especially for the price you pay. So no matter how aggressive or powerful you are in your moves, this shoe is definitely going to be able to contain you and keep up with you. All right, down to the cushion. Now the cushion is, I think Nightwing said this is the best version of bounce cushioning he has used. And for me, I could almost agree. Now I outweigh Nightwing by probably 80 pounds or so. So this is the first bounce setup that I could at least somewhat enjoy. What I mean by that is, in pretty much every bounce shoe, it didn't have the impact protection. Now, I'm a little bit bigger guy, so I understand a lot of you guys enjoy it out there. But when I came down from jumping, when I took a hard step, I could feel the shock coming up. Just wasn't great for my size. Now, in comparison, the more bounce you use, the more comfortable it is. So something like the Dame 5, I was able to enjoy a little bit, but it was such a narrow shoe for me, I really couldn't enjoy that shoe, but it wasn't because of necessarily cushioning. This is falling in line closer to that Dame 5 setup. Some people like it better. It's just enough cushioning where this is definitely a court feel based shoe. I feel quick in it. There's no squishiness to it really. If you take your first step, you're pushing on the ground, you feel the court, you're going. So there is no hesitation. So this is definitely a court feel, fast playing shoe. But because it's heavy, because it's kind of clunky, doesn't have the best flexibility, it's something I can understand a lot of players not gravitating towards it. Just because if you are a light player, you want court feel, you're playing fast, you usually want something more flexible, a little lighter. So that's why this is a weird combination. You're getting something that's court feel based, that has some impact protection, but it has a lot of support, is somewhat clunky, and is heavy. So if this is something that you're looking for, this is definitely unique on the market. Finally, down to the traction, and this was probably the worst part of the shoe, and it's not bad, but it's just not great. It's using just straight herringbone, just as you can imagine, because this has a translucent aspect to it. It's something that maybe a solid traction version would be better, but at the same time, unlike the Dame 6, this doesn't really bite at any point. Even on super clean courts, I'm not getting a hard bite. So I've actually went to my first kind of new court in the Chicagoland area where it was super clean. All my shoes were biting hard, and this still just wouldn't bite. Now, I wouldn't call the traction bad, but it's close. It's something where it definitely ruined the experience for me. I know a lot of other reviewers have said it's inconsistent. I'll give it that too. Some days I'll play in it and I was absolutely fine. Some days I played in it and I almost fell probably 3 different times, just because you don't feel the dust gathering, it just kind of goes. And I think that has to do with the spacing of the traction. It's really tight. Now at the same time, it's not that hard either. So I don't know if this would be good outdoors either way. So the traction is one of these, it's hard for me to recommend. That is probably the biggest letdown of this shoe. And I can't really say other colorways are going to be better, simply because I'm not getting an initial bite. I'm not getting a lot of traction, no matter the court. Whereas the Dame 6, even though that had a clear version, and the one I have, and a solid traction would be better, the clear one still works on a clean court. It still bites hard initially. It gathers dust, but it works well. Whereas this, clean or dirty, I was either slipping or just barely had enough grip where I wasn't nearly as confident. So wrapping things up, if I were to rank these as far as the Adidas lineup, one, Adidas has a really strong lineup for giving you a signature model sneaker for Don 1 with Donovan Mitchell, and Dame for Damian Lillard and Dame 6 for right around $100. And obviously both are available on discount. Now the Don 1 is going to give you a crazy level of support. Again, giving you a fit close to like kind of what the Kobe's gave you, a nice court feel based cushion setup, but wrapping it up, it is a little bit heavy. it is a little bit clunky, and the traction is not nearly as good as I would like, but that doesn't make it bad. Depending on your playing style, I can see a lot of bigger guys who are quick, maybe really enjoying this shoe, but this definitely plays very different from the Dame 6. So whereas the Dame 6, I love the cushion setup. I loved how light and flexible it is, and just how comfortable it was for me. It didn't have half the support this did. Now that lets me know I don't really need as much support. There's times when I like playing in this shoe, but me personal preference, I would say the Dame 6 is better just because I'm okay having that less support. But you have to understand, for your needs, if you need more support, the Dame 6 is going to suck for you. Or if you play aggressive and you wear through shoes, the durability on the Dame 6 is terrible. There's a lot to not like about the Dame 6, and that's why I called it the best worst shoe of the year. This is probably just the most surprising sneaker, I would say. It is great looking, decently comfortable, does a lot of stuff well. Some of the colorways just look amazing, but overall, it really, what fails it is just that traction. I wish it was a little bit better. All right, guys, if you like that video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down to the channel below. We do have part 3 coming at you with the, man, I keep getting it wrong here in the camera, the Jordan CP3. You guys will see how that racks up, wrapping up our top value sneakers of 2019, 2020. As always, if you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and I do try to hit all of you back. This is Levi Sneaker Gears. Really appreciate you guys, and I'll come at you later.